If you've been trying to lose weight, but now you're plateaued and you're kind of stuck, getting frustrated, here's 3 things you can do to break that plateau. Number 1 is take a break from weight loss. I know that sounds so weird, right? Like, aren't I supposed to keep trying to lose weight? But here's what happens is when you stay in a deficit for too long, your body wants to conserve energy, wants to store fat. It's kind of like a metabolic adaptation where your metabolism just slows down and then you can't lose any more weight. So you're going to plateau and then you're going to end up going backwards. But if you take a break instead and get out of a deficit, get you back up to your normal basal metabolic rate of food that you need, and do that for maybe even a month. Like typically with my clients who, first they'll lose 20 pounds on average in 6 weeks or more. Actually, it's about 25 for women. They'll lose that in 6 weeks. We take a 4 to 6 week break, increase their foods, and making sure they have the right amounts and the right kind, which we'll talk about in a second. And that helps their body stabilize naturally, but not want to go back the other way, because then when they start losing weight again, now their body's kind of like starting over fresh and they can drop another 25 pounds on average in 6 weeks is what we typically see. So you got to take that break, and that'll help your body kind of start over fresh when you start losing weight again. Number 2 is start focusing on what kind of food you've been eating, not just on how much. Focusing only on how much food you're eating versus what kinds is kind of like trying to grow plants and focusing on how much liquid to use, but not on the kind of liquid. You got to use water, right? So when you focus only on how much food, you could be eating foods or not eating the right kinds of foods that are harming your hormones, disrupting your hormones, causing inflammation, keeping your blood sugars out of balance, and those things will keep you stuck, not able to lose the weight. So if you focus on things like protein, make sure you get adequate protein, making sure you're doing like at least a half a gram of protein per body weight per day, if not up to a gram. Make sure you get adequate fats like avocado oil, those types of fats every single meal. That's going to be important as you kind of take that break. Good carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables, including starchy vegetables potentially. That's going to be kind of foundational foods to be focusing on to balance blood sugars, reduce inflammation, and make sure that you are fueling your body the right way, especially when you're taking that break. I mean, that's important to focus on the right kind of food when you're losing weight as well. And that might be just the right kind of change to make. But when you're taking that break, it definitely start fueling your body the right way. And the third thing is when you take that break from weight loss, make sure you do strength training. Now, we don't have people do exercise when they're losing weight because it actually tends to backfire on people and then they plateau. So we reserve the strength training and exercise for when you take that break. Now, I say strength training specifically because cardio is not going to be your friend when it comes to fat loss. High intensity interval can be good, but you don't need it that often, 1 or 2 times a week. But strength training, you're going to need like 2 to 3 times a week. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. Just start doing some resistance training, whether that's body weight or weights. You can do it in your home, you can do it in your gym. Doesn't matter. You need to start strength training, and that's going to keep your metabolic rate high. So if you're combining these 3 things now, you're going to take a break, focus on the right foods, make sure you get adequate protein, and then start strength training. Do that for like 4 to 6 weeks. And then when you create a deficit, you're going to be able to actually lose the weight again.